These interview questions are related to your experiences dealing with incarceration. Whether you've dealt with doing time or know someone in jail, please share a video telling your story with Care Pictures Love in order to inform others on how to deal with similar situations and prevent the next generation from making the same mistakes in life. What is your name?
My name's Marco Carrasquillo.
And where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
And what did you do for a living?
Um, I was currently a student. I'm trying to get my a little business afloat though.
Okay. Now that we have a little background, let's get into how incarceration has affected your life. At what age were you first impacted by incarceration?
Um, I think the first time I really had any type of impact on incarceration was I probably was about I want to say about 10 years old, and I remember just getting pulled over. I was in the car with my dad and my mom, and we got pulled over, and they ended up taking my dad out of the car and bringing him to jail. And I think that was my first real experience with the law.
Mm. And how did that change your life?
Um, it made me kind of feel some type of way about the police, and because at that age I didn't really understand what was going on, and it just made me kind of feel a little. I felt unsafe by the police. I felt like they did some type of wrong by removing my dad and bringing him to jail.
And during this time, did you have contact with your dad through correspondence, collect calls, and visits?
Yeah, I remember my mom putting money on the phone. I remember going to see him. I remember just everything.
And what was it like seeing your dad while he was incarcerated?
It was kind of confusing. Um, I didn't really at that age I didn't really understand fully the 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 magnitude of what was really going on. I kind of didn't really understand and grasp the whole concept what he was going through. I guess I kind of felt like he was at school or off to college or vacation or something like that.
And how did his being away affect your family?
Um, Man, I saw my mom struggle for a while over that. She was strong, so she didn't really show us too much emotion over it, just so we didn't make it bigger than what it was. But I definitely saw her struggle, and she had to get on food stamps and just all types of stuff. So it definitely affected us pretty deeply. Now thinking about it, a lot more than I even suspected back then.
And when was your first personal experience with incarceration?
I remember I was 18. I had a marijuana ticket, and I had gotten pulled over, and I was with one of my boys, and he had I think it was a failure to appear, or some type of ticket, but they ended up letting him go and taking me in. So it was kind of, it just didn't feel right after that whole point.
And what was it like, going to jail for the first time?
Um, it definitely was scary. I had seen movies and heard stories about a lot of people talking about it. It definitely was scary, but that was my first. That was my first dealing with the incarceration. But that I didn't really make it too far after that. I just went to the substation. But I remember after that I had an incarceration where I had actually had to go through the full jail experience and do a little time away from my family, and it was just it was kind of raw and surreal. I had never really dealt with nothing like that in my life, so it made me kind of open my eyes to a lot of different ways of living.
Mm. Well, can you tell us about some of the things you've seen and experienced while incarcerated?
Man, it's been crazy trips. This is my third time being incarcerated in prison, and I just dealt with a whole lot of different adversities and being put in a situation where I had to pick sides. You know, I had grown up in a area where it was all of my friends have been a mixture of everything, every different type of race and all types of stuff. So being put in a situation where I had to choose like to pick a side and I had to really not like people for what they were and what they ran, and then dealing with people not liking me for my race and stuff like that. It's just it was a real eye opener.
And while you were incarcerated, were you able to have contact with family and friends through correspondence, collect calls, and visits?
Um, I had I've been blessed. I've had my mom, who she's always done whatever she needed to do to stay in contact with me. She kept money on the phone, and my first two terms I had a girlfriend. She put money on the phone, so I was blessed with having people who actually went out of their way and did stuff that isn't necessarily easy for them. It wasn't a convenience for them. It was definitely a misconvenience for them. So I definitely feel blessed for that situation.
And what did that contact do for you while you were incarcerated?
Man, it helped me live. Like it helped me it kept me in touch with the streets, because in here it gets real lonely at times, and I see a lot of people who don't really have family and don't have anybody who could really reach out to them, and I know even some people do, but it's they don't make it easy. This is a business for them, so they make it they make it like that. They make it so that it's super expensive for the phones. It's hard to write. People don't necessarily generally write these days, so it's real hard to write. So it's just it's been a real inconvenience for the most part. That's the best way to describe it, is just inconvenient.
Well, can you speak about some moments you missed with loved ones that you feel would have been different if you were there?
You know what? I've missed birthdays. I've missed Christmases. I've missed holidays, Thanksgivings. I've had friends die on me since I've been incarcerated. I've dealt with a whole lot of other situations, even though I know that me being there wouldn't have necessarily made change the impact on certain situations. But I know I deprived my family of a lot of memories that we could have had, and a lot of time. Like the personal relationship with my family and people that love me have definitely been astray, and like doing this whole incarceration time. And so I just feel like if I would have been out there, it would have been we would have been in a lot better of a position as family, and the way people look at you and stuff like that. So I think it could have been this whole situation. If it just wouldn't have happened, would have been a whole different impact on my life and on family's life around me.
That's right. And what is it that you want people to know about being incarcerated?
Um, well, one, I want people to know, like, just the strength that I've seen off of some people who are in here who don't really got people out there, and they just I see it sometimes, and people just they mask how they really feel. I just want people to know, like, it's a lot of times in here we don't really get treated as human beings. It's like sometimes it's almost like being a caged animal. So I just want people to be able to see this for what it is. At the same time, there's probably been these 3 terms, well, especially this one, has been the most blessed impact on my life, to be able to see, like, what life's really about. And I wouldn't wish this upon anybody, but at the same time, it definitely helped me grow and helped me turn into a different person and see life from a whole different whole different aspect. You know, a lot of times we're on the streets, and we take a lot of stuff for granted. We take people for granted. We take friends for granted. You know, and being in here, they kind of strip us away from all of our just everything we're used to, and all the luxuries of life. And so it makes you really think about the bigger picture. It makes you really think about what's going on. Even though I wouldn't, like I said before, I would never wish this upon anybody, because it's real raw in here. You know, there's some people who don't make it out of this, and that's a real reality of jail, and that's a hard thing to cope with too at sometimes. But it's just about becoming stronger and just being better.
And what is it that you want people to know about you?
Um, you know, I talked to a lot of people, and I remember I got out last time, and I had talked to somebody, and I had just met somebody, and she told me, like, you know, she had heard I had been incarcerated, and she told me, like, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I'm sorry that you had to endure that. You know, I'm sorry, and I told her, like I said before, you know, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to come through this and learn more about myself, change, become a better person, and just see different from a whole nother light. If anything, what I would really want people to know from this is to just do this on the streets. Take time out for yourself and learn who you are, and just try to become a better person on the streets, because, you know, this is a step that I don't think human beings should have to go through. You know, like I said before, a lot of times we're in here and we're not really treated as human beings. We're more treated as a number than anything. And I just if there's any message I could tell anybody, it's just, you know, take time to really learn yourself and really evaluate what you got going on, and try to change the person that you are, and just become a better person, because, you know, even though it's a blessing, you know, we don't want to have to go through this and keep going through this and keep putting our families through this, and, you know, the money and just all the type of stuff. I would just tell you, just, you know, try to do anything you can to find a different way, even though it seems hard out there. Just sometimes you just got to back up and slow down and look at yourself from the outside in, and reevaluate what you got going on, because it could easily be you. You know, I've been getting arrested in and out of jail for the last about 8 years so far, and, you know, I've had about 18 months on the street in the last 8 years. So I missed a lot of key function things in life, and just a lot of time I could have had spent. That's one thing people got to remember is you can't get this time back. Once you come here, it's gone, you know. And of course you could always use the time to make yourself a better person, but that's just on you. So like I say, anything, just evaluate your situation and think about stuff that you do before it, and just think about the effects and cause you have on other people, not just yourself. So that would be the biggest thing that I think that I would tell people.
Well, wow, that was deep. Can you give some detailed examples of how inmates are treated like animals and like numbers?
You know, it's funny, because I remember I was at fire camp one time in the camp. They had sheeps in the back camp, and every time we used to go to chow, I would look in the back field, and I would see the sheep going to chow at the same time, and I just look at the picture, and it was just so similar to me, you know, and it kind of made me realize how they feel about us. Really, in here, we're nothing but sheep. That's all we are. We're most of the time when they call us, they don't even call us by our name. They call us by our number. You know, we get looked down upon. We get judged just for you know, simple little mistakes that we make. It's a real raw place. And then on top of that, you know, it's not even just them we got to worry about. We got to worry about each other. We got to worry about, you know, all the different personalities. We got to worry about them hanging our time over our head, and if they come in having a bad day, then they gonna try to do whatever they can to make sure you have a bad day. So it's just the situation is just it's hard to deal with, because it's like nobody wants to feel like that. Nobody wants to feel like less of a human being, or like just like an animal. You know, at times they really make you feel like animals. You know, so it's just it's a rough situation. So that just I think that just sums it up in a little bit.
Let me ask you: have you received pictures from family and friends while incarcerated?
I haven't this time, but I definitely have before. I definitely have before, and that was like one of my biggest things, especially when I was with my ex on my last 2 terms. That was one of the biggest things. Was like I always used to tell her to send pictures and stuff like that, but it was so hard. They don't make it easy for you out there, especially with the fast pace that life has. Once you're on the streets, it's hard to get pictures and mail and stuff like that in here. So uh, I have, but not as frequent as I would have liked to. Just being in here, but that's understandable. Seeing as the fast paced life that they got out there.
And when you did receive those pictures, what did they do for you?
Man, it's crazy because the way that a lot of people look at you in here, because you know they, like I said before, they strip everything away from us, and we only have so much in here to really display ourselves and really show ourselves. So it's like once you get those pictures, people get to see who you really are. They get to like I said, they get to see who you really are, and it just gets to show off your family. And sometimes it even seems like people don't even got family, and then you get those pictures and you see some of the amazement in people's faces, and it just changes a whole lot of stuff. You know, everywhere you go, you see people's pictures hanging up, and then sometimes when you don't get pictures, it makes you kind of feel like you left out, and you kind of get down and out. But once those pictures come, it's like a whole. It's even more important than money. I can say, you know, I've had packages, I've had canteen, all that type of stuff, but the feeling that you get when somebody sends you a picture and lets you know like they really took time out of their life to send it to you and to have you show them off, it shows that you know how proud they are of you at the same time. It's a whole life changer. It makes your whole day change. It can make your whole month, your whole year change. I think the most important thing for me is just the pictures and the phone, just to stay relevant and stay updated with life. I know, like I said before, I got family out there. I got 2 nieces who grow more and more every day. So being able to see them and see their growth and just stay current, and that way, you know, once I get out and we have those conversations, it's almost like you could be there without even actually being there. I know there's nothing that can replace your actual time, but you know, sending in those pictures really it keeps you present, and it just keeps you updated on life. You know, I think for a lot of people, without even just a simple thing as those pictures and stuff like that, like it could really make you just kind of float around in here. So I think that's probably one of the most important and most thoughtful things you can do for somebody who's incarcerated, is just something as simple as send them some pictures. And I know they don't make it necessarily too easy for you. So I think that's just a blessing to all those people who have family who actually care enough to send them some stuff. So.
What plans do you have for the future?
Man, you know what? Like I said, this is my 3rd time being incarcerated, and I really did some soul searching this time, and I've taken so much away from my community, and I've done a lot of damage. You know, I sold drugs, I broke into houses. You know, I just did a lot of stuff that I really regret, and was really unnecessary as far as just the grand scheme of life and coming in here. So I think this time out, I got plans on just starting a little nonprofit business to just give back to the community and help some kids out, and just put a smile on a kid's face, and possibly save a kid from having to go through this. You know, it's something so. Sometimes the most simple things in life can help change the whole whole future of somebody. So I plan on giving back to the community and just changing the life of someone, even if it's just one person, you know. It's just changing the life of somebody and putting them on a different path. You know, it's good just to know that there's people out there who are thinking about you and who care about you. So I think definitely this time I'm gonna do whatever it takes just to give back to my community. You know, one kid at a time, and just like I said, change the path and hopefully change somebody's future. And then maybe someday along the line, you know, maybe I could have helped somebody out who will grow up and they can help somebody out, and they'll grow up and they can help somebody out, and just keep a long change, you know, and hopefully do what it takes to you know, I might not be able to change the world myself, but you know, something I could do for somebody out there might be able to change the whole world. So you never know who you can help out there. It could be something that simple who could just change the whole world, you know. I think I heard a quote from Tupac when I was younger, and he said I might not be able to change the world myself, but I might be able to spark the brain of somebody who can. And I think that really stuck with me, and I'm really trying to play on that and just make a difference. You know, even if it's just in my community, just do something to give back and make a difference.
All right, so before we end, can you just give a little a word to a youngster that's out there scaling the fence between going the right way and down the wrong path?
I just, you know, I would just want to say, you know, like I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger. You know, growing up, we tend to look at the wrong people, and we tend to try to follow the wrong people. I would just say, you know, at the end of the day, there's nothing that can replace your freedom. Like, your freedom is the most important part, and you don't even realize until they take it away. But once they take it away, it's a whole nother life. You know, like we spoke about being an animal before. Nobody wants to feel like an animal. Just think about the stuff that you do before you do it, and just, you know, try to stay positive, and to surround yourself with positive people. Because, you know, even though we all lost, we all have our moments of being lost out there in life. You know, it's not worth it. You know, I done been in here, and I've seen people die in here. You know, I've seen all types of stuff that no human being really should ever have to go through. So if you can avoid it, just don't put yourself through that type of pain and suffering, and just go around it, and do whatever you can to look for the better thing. And I know sometimes, you know, it's hard. We want to fit in, and we want people to like us, and that's not what life's about. You know, the older you get, the more you realize that it doesn't really matter. Those people who are telling you that type of stuff, man, they don't have your best interest in mind. They don't really even care about you. They're as bad as the people in here calling us animals. They're treating you like animals. So I would say, just, you know the difference between right or wrong. Just get away from it, and try to reach out to somebody in some type of, I don't know, church or whatever whatever it may be. Just reach out to somebody out there, and if somebody tries to reach out to you, just take that advice that they gave you. I know coming through this situation, I done had a lot of advice from a lot of different people that I didn't take at that time, but now looking back at it, I'm like, man, like my whole journey could have been completely different. So, you know, just make it easy on yourself. Don't make life harder on yourself. That's not what life's about. Just take the help that's out there. There's all different types of places you can go. You know, school. You know, do what you got to do, and being a man. That's what it's all about. Everybody wants to grow into a man, but, you know, men don't steal from other people. Men don't lie to each other. You know, men, we just, you know, as a man, you're just supposed to keep it 100% real, and just keep it 100, and you know the difference. But like I said before, you know the difference between right and wrong. Stop listening to the person you think is cool because of how they look, or the girls that they got, or the kind of car that they drive, because, you know, inside, you know, 9 times out of 10, anybody who's telling you not to do the right thing, they don't feel good about themselves. So just remember that you know, it's bigger than you, and you don't want to be nobody's pawn. Nobody wants to be that in life. So just just be a man and just use your brain and do the right thing. Sometimes it's harder to do the right thing, but that's just what it is. Nothing's harder than this. Nothing's harder than doing time. Nothing's harder than getting your freedom taken from you. Nothing's harder than being treated like an animal. So in order to avoid this, just take heed and try to change something in your life, that the area of direction. Stop looking for acceptance in the wrong places, and just do, like I said before, do the right thing. Your parents generally know the best for you, so just listen to them and understand that they see the bigger picture. They probably been through what you've been through, and that's why they're telling you what they're telling you. So just pay attention to what's going on around you, and just listen. Just listen and sit back and observe. You don't always gotta get up and move around and try to get in the mix and try to be accepted by everybody, because that's not what life's about. People respect people who are gonna be themselves, not somebody who's gonna try to be somebody else. So that's a lot of things that people won't tell you, but I think that's just something important to hear. Is just be yourself 100%. Everybody's got their different flaws. Everybody's got their different little quirks with their characters, whatever it may be. Just accept yourself for who it is, and don't beat yourself up and try to be somebody else, because that's just even worse. I'd rather be myself and be hated by everybody than be somebody that I'm not and be loved by pretend to be loved by everyone. So just at the end of the day, just be yourself, and whatever you got coming in life, it's gonna come. Just remember, there is people that care about you. Try to gravitate towards those people instead of gravitating towards the people who wanna give you the gun and tell you to go do this, and show you this lie of a lifestyle, and have you go do it. So just at the end of the day, my biggest message would be just be yourself.
All right, well, we definitely thank you for sharing these words, sharing your story, sharing your experience, and everything that you have to say with Care Pictures Love. And hopefully something will spark something and somebody, any of the listeners out there, so they won't make the same mistakes, and maybe it'll help them deal with similar situations.
Thank you.